Hello, I'm No Nerd. Like and subscribe if you like games and programming. Today I'm going to talk about Crimson Horizon, which is a project I've been working on with a publisher, and it's called game's called Crimson Horizon. It's an interactive fiction game. They've been working on this project for a while. I'll just give you the about section. You can visit this website at crimsonhorizon.io. So I'll just read this. Crimson Horizon is an interactive story game currently under development, the result of a collaboration between a writer and artist game developer. The genesis of the project came about from wanting to create an interesting science fiction story considering the new emerging frontier of space travel and colonisation through the lens of a series of brilliant but human characters, each with competing agendas, issues and personalities. It's still in the stages of prototyping, technically and creatively, to pursue a vision of an ambitious and engaging game which we hope will bring a new type of immersive experience to gamers and readers alike. We have produced working drafts of the narrative and dialogue, as well as concept art, music, sound, as well as prototype builds. View the blog for more background information about our ongoing work process, yada yada yada. But so these well, that's me obviously on the left, but there's Bradley who I'm working with as well, who's the writer and publisher of Falchion Publishing. So basically, how this project emerged, we connected via Shaper actually, which is a very good app for connecting with like-minded creative technologists basically. Bradley works for Falchion Publishing, and yeah, I mean he's a writer himself and also a publisher. And then there's me, who's a developer, programmer, and writer based in London. There's just some links to my site there, and then that's a link to Falchion's website. Okay, so that's giving you a bit of a feeling for how the project started. These are some screenshots from one of the prototype builds. So story is about civilian crew, la la. So let's just talk about this. This is basically a menu screen from the game. It's prototypal still, but yeah. And this is a prototypal scene. This is one of the characters who's a psychedelic engineer. So I'll talk about some of the characters in the game actually, and then I'll show you more of the. So you can basically choose to play a few different characters at first, and each character has their own skills, has their own weaknesses, strengths, etc. So you can play Nebu Smith, who is the psychonaut engineer. So he's a brilliant but troubled engineer with a propensity for psychedelic experimentation. A skilled engineer who's been hired for his expertise in habitat building as well for his general engineering skill. He wears an augmented reality visor which commences a field of vision with technological information about his environment. So he's got an insight skill and a quick fix, which basically means he has insight into nature of people and things, and he can fix things quickly because he's an engineer obviously. Next we have Mary Ann, who's a visual artist. She carries around a sketchbook, and the room's decorated with sketches of the ship and crew. Fingers are always stained with ink and charcoal, so she's an intuitive and she has a creative mind. She also has insight, but probably at a more in-depth level, more specialised than Nebu Smith, basically. So that's the strengths of her characters. And there'll be more characters to come. These are just this is just some artwork I created for the characters a while ago. Navain T22, she's an android. She's sent by a private robotics company to send data to a host company and then stream it basically to the reality TV. Cybernetic sentient being programmed to mimic human emotion in human behaviour. She's extremely charismatic and seductive. Charismatic, and seductive. Her core programming routine is to serve the robotics company, so she has the special skills of seduction and hacking. So she has her female wiles, should we say, and she can hack computers. So she's a mixture of a hacker and a seductive woman, basically. So these are just a few screenshots from the early build, which I'll show actually after this little brief introduction to the project. So concept art. I'll just show the actual game in a bit where it's up to. Well, I'll show you some of these scenes as well actually. So basically we've done 2 builds of the game thus far. I'm the main developer and obviously, so there's been all that sort of technical side has been done by me. Bradley's handling the writing. So the more developed build is the Play Canvas build. The Unreal Engine build was basically just a tech demo, but I'll show you that anyway because it looks visually very stunning actually, because obviously it's Unreal Engine, which is an awesome video engine. I can't full screen it, but you get the idea, I guess. There's no sound, but so this is a build made in a previous version of Unreal Engine, probably like Unreal Engine 4 or something. Showcasing a little bit of a dialogue system and just an example of the conversations that occur between 2 characters. So that just gives you an idea of that. And then also a Play Canvas preview, testing build with several scenes. So I'll just open this. I don't think I can full screen it. I'll have to do it here to do that. I'll just do that anyway. So this is a quick video of what I want to show next as well, and go into a bit more depth into it. So you get like a character selection screen that shows more about. I mean, obviously the attributes are based on something like Dungeons and Dragons, and that can affect gameplay is the idea. We might have to scale some of it back, but I mean, obviously the dialogue's way too squished and everything. That's something to. So one of the hardest things actually to work out in 3D in these sort of experiences is text. Actually, it's just you want to get the text looking easy to read. You want to balance that also with readability on different devices. It's actually quite a challenge because you want it to be responsive. You want someone to be able to play it on a PC, on a mobile even, or on Android, a phone, a tablet, sorry. Nebby Smith's scenes in Nebby Smith. So obviously I'm trying to go for a sort of, with Nebby Smith's character anyway, the graphical style is psychedelic, sort of like experience tripping psychonaut guy, and it's just part of it. And the interesting thing will be about his characters is AR visor as well, so that will affect gameplay as well, because you get information overlaid and over the world itself, and it gives you a bit of a flavour of some of the prose if you read that. Okay, just go back to the site. So we've met the characters, showed the gallery, so I'll just boot up the actual Play Canvas prototype actually. So obviously I'm not going to go into the code too much because we want to sell this game eventually. So, but I'll give you basically just a run through of playing it. I'll just make sure this is muted because I don't want, that's not muted, so any sound should play. But I've implemented. This will be the first time I've opened this up for a few months, but it's pretty functional, I think. So that's just a launch screen. I designed this. That's cut off a bit. Actually, I need to fix that. But it's like a landing page, and I think it sort of works. So start. So this is the character selection screen. Obviously the UI like that there should be fixed a bit, maybe down here. But it gives you basically can look at each character. You've got Marianne there, Nebby Smith, got some nice little animation playing with them. So that's there. Which is sort of it's sort of supposed to show their characters. So she's, Marianne's like, whoosh, I'm an artist. Yvain is a bit cold and calculating, and Nebby Smith is a bit spaced out, basically. So if I look at I'll look at Marianne first. Um, so again, it gives a overview of the character and her basically a description of her skills and also her special skills, which then sums up her special skills in the game. So she gets insight. So again, you get to insight into a situation like intuition, basically, and visual recall. So she's got photographic memory for places and things. We'll go back again, and I'll show you Nebby Smith as well. So you can get at the minute you can navigate between each menu. So he's hired by NASA. He's a habitat builder. Some of the actual dialogue and copy will change. Explore the ship and what kind of habitations. These are his stats. So he's got low strength, high intelligence, constitution's 5, which is mid, and then high wisdom. So again, he's got insight as well. So he also has insight, and he has quick fix. So that's he's a techie, a tech guy. Can't remember if I did Naveen. No, I did not. That's why that happened. So Naveen's not done yet, so that's why it just crashed, because I need to add the reference. But okay, start again, and then I'll just run through the first thing. So we'll go Marianne first. So look, so it's a bit of sound effects here. You should be able to hear. And she's sort of. I've tried to make it quite artistic. So each scene relates to the text, obviously. So at this point, she's well, there you go. So you can choose to answer the phone. Let's answer it. It's a call from my mum. There we go. So we're going to do this. And none of these branches are done yet, but you know what I mean. It's like that's how it is with that one. It'd be interesting to, because basically how it works in terms of I won't go too much into it again because it's a game we're going to sell, but basically, so flip the visor down. So it's Nebby Smith's arc so far, and this is him in the ship. It's sort of a steampunky vibe, I guess. And I can't do that because it's not been done yet. Obviously, probably need to implement a back button of some sort, but in some situations, that won't be an option. Like options that are, set in time, basically. Just see if there's anything else I can show. So that's that so far. I think I'll leave it at that. If you want to check out the website, it's crimsonhorizon.io, and I'd be interested in what people think of it. We could do with perceptions of feedback, obviously constructive, on what you think of the idea, what you think of the game itself, and just the early prototype that we've both developed together as me and Bradley as part of our idea for this game. Website needs a lot of update, like I haven't done the blog recently, but I'll try and make it more active soon. I'll leave that at that. I've just not really talked about this project very much. It's sort of been in the bag, but I thought it's worth showing just a bit of where it's at, because we've given ourselves a realistic time frame for doing it from the very start. Game dev doesn't work in the sense that you just do it and have it released in a especially if it's a small team. You're talking a few years often to get it done and finished. Is the realistic reality of it, especially if you're an indie. But this already does have a lot of potential, I think. We just need to tidy up bits and get the flow going again. But yeah, that's Crimson Horizon, and yeah, check out our website. That's all. Like and subscribe, obviously, like I said before, and yeah, have a good one.